everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing this little GPS drone from Holy Stone. This is a HS110G. When you look at the drone, you might think, well, this looks sort of familiar. Yeah, I think it looks a lot like the classic FIMI X5C. It might be a hair smaller, but it looks very similar. That was many people's very first drone, and it was such a great little flyer. But at that time, GPS was something that was not ever on something like this. It was only the really expensive $1,000 drones at that time. So to see GPS on something like this is kind of exciting. So that's why I thought I'd review this and just see, is it a fun flyer with that extra GPS added to it. Now you can see it does have a fixed camera. You cannot tilt this, unfortunately. Sort of like the original FIMI, but this is a 1080p camera that shoots at 25 frames per second. So might get some decent footage. Hopefully there's not a bunch of jello or anything. We don't see that too much anymore. But you can't tilt it, so there's going to be a lot of, it's not stabilized. Get your Wi-Fi camera here in the rear to transmit the video signal, and it does use a micro SD card slot. So you're not going to be transmitting the video feed over Wi-Fi, which is nice. You've got a power button right here, and then above it is your charging port. You do have to put the battery into the drone to actually charge it, and this comes with 2 of these batteries. Let's pull it out and see if we can see any size, or what is the size of this battery. It's a 1S LiPo, and it is, let's see if we can find the size here, 1500 milliamp hour. So a decent size battery on this. Again, there's 2 of those that come with it, and the advertised flight time is about 13 minutes, so probably expect closer to 10. Those are always the most perfect circumstances of hovering a drone stationary, is what they would give you for the their max flight time on this drone. So let's go ahead and look at the controller really quickly, and then we'll get this drone up in the air. So they give you a little cheat sheet here. You've got up here is your GPS mode, and that short press is headless mode. Long press will let you turn GPS on and off. And then down here is your return to home button. So you press that, and the drone will come back and land. You have your power switch here. Up here is your takeoff and landing. So short press takes off, short press lands it. If you long press it, it will do an emergency motor stop and stop the motors. Now up on the top, you've got some bumpers here. It's gonna be a little hard to see with my phone in here, but you've got a your left bumper is your photo mode, and if you long press that, it'll go into trimming mode, but it lets you trim it up. You wouldn't need to do that in GPS mode. It would only be really needed if you were in the non-GPS mode. Then you have a speed rates dial here. We'll see if we have 2 or 3 speeds, I'm not sure. And then this bumper here is your video mode, and this dial here is non-functional. It would be a camera tilt if it actually had that. So you just pull these little hand grips down here, and then of course you have to flip up this and you insert your phone in it and connect it to the Wi-Fi. So that's what we're going to do now. Let's get this drone powered up and connected to the Wi-Fi, do the compass calibration, gyro calibration, and get it up into the air. Now when you first power it up, it'll automatically go into compass calibration, but if you need to enter that mode, it's going to be, let me move the cheat sheet out of the way. Both sticks up and inboard will enter you into compass calibration. Both sticks up and out will go into gyro calibration, and then the lights will just flash and stop and let you know that the gyro was successfully calibrated. So let's just turn this little drone on. So we're just going to press the power button here if I can reach it. We have some white and purple lights there. They will change colors. We'll see which one they are once we get to flight. Then we're going to go ahead and turn on the controller, and then you're going to do it up, down, and we're bound. Now we should be in the compass calibration. If we're not, we got some flashing lights. So I believe we're in compass calibration. Let's go ahead and connect to the Wi-Fi first in the Holy Stone, and we're going to be connected here, and now we are. And we're going to go to the app. The app is called the HS GPS V1. And once you're into that, you'll go to controls, and there is our video feed. Again, a 1080p feed here. Now I'm not going to do a screen recording. We'll just use the onboard footage to the TF or micro SD card. Let's go up and in just to make sure. And now it says compass level calibration. When I was inside, it actually just entered right into the mode. So we got solid lights. Now we'll go this way, and And we should get another set of solid lights, and now all of them are solid, which means we've done the compass calibration. Very, very simple. And it says it's been calibrated. So we're good to go. So now we're just waiting for a good GPS lock. It says waiting for GPS signal. While we're waiting for the GPS lock, we could do a gyro calibration, both sticks down and out. And it says level calibration is completed. So it all worked perfect. All right, it says we have a weak GPS signal. So we could take off, but let's wait just a moment. Now it says we're ready to fly. So now we got 3. Now you want to go in here when you first fly, and for me, I'm going to turn off beginner's mode because I don't want to be capped on how far we can fly. So I'm going to max out the distance and altitude. Return to home altitude will go up 50 meters. Then you want to make sure you click save so that it works. And that looks like that's all that there are in settings. There are no other settings. Again, this is very basic drone. It has return to home if you tell it to. It has return to home if you click, excuse me, if you reach the low battery, or if you were to lose signal to the controller. If your video feed drops out, that probably won't send it back home. Sometimes they do, but most of the time on these toy drones they don't. But there's not any, there's only one other smart feature, and that is a follow me mode, where it has 2 following modes. You can follow your GPS in your phone, or you can do active track where you'll draw a box. And we'll try to test those out, assuming that we have enough battery power. And that's it. I didn't see any mentions in the manual of a circle me mode or a waypoints mode. So those are the, let's go back to the controls again. We'll have to find that the GPS follow mode in here because I'm not seeing it. And the there we go. When you click on controls, oh, there it is. All right, let's go ahead and unlock the props and get this drone in the air. But first, let's start recording video. So we press it here, and we're recording video. And it is going to beep at you the whole time, which is a bit annoying. All right, let's go ahead and do both sticks down and in. We'll unlock the props and then do an auto takeoff. Let's give it some throttle. It didn't take off very high. And that's where you always want to hover for a moment. Make sure you don't have any toilet bowling or anything. It looks very steady. Nice yaw. This actually looks pretty good. Maybe a yellow, not sure what this yellow bar is here. Could just be something to do with our height or something. And let's see if we can go up in speed rate. All right, so we have 2 rates. And that's the higher rate, and see the yaw is higher there. It's hard to see it here if it beeps because of the beeping on the controller right now, letting us know we're recording. And now that little yellow bar disappeared. Yeah, this flies really nice. It's going to really zoom from left to right here as it gets a tailwind. Yeah. Well, I really hate when they put that constant beeping for recording video. Super annoying. All right, since we figured our flight time, and this is probably going to be something more like 10 minutes, let's get it out here a little ways. Have a nice Wi-Fi feed so far. Let's just go out here a little ways and do a return to home and see how accurate that is. We'll fly out over that gazebo there, like in the middle of the cemetery. We're out around 100 meters. And let's do that return to home. And it says return to home here on the app. It's going to turn around and fly back. We always want to test that first. Let's make sure that functions well and that it is fairly accurate coming back. So I like to test that very soon into the flight so we have adequate battery power. So you hear the double beeps. We've got return to home beep overlaid on top of the video recording beep, and it's very annoying. And unfortunately, there's nothing you can do. So there's the drone right there, and I had it set pretty high, so it probably raised up to, what was it, 50 meters. I was only up about 17 where I initiated it, so it had to fly up, and now it's saying down. So that yellow there is telling me it's coming down, and here it is. We got a high sun today, so I'm trying to hold my hand up here to see, but if we get a lot of glare from the sun, guys, I apologize. It's just the time of day. From what I saw, just holding this camera inside, making sure that it recorded to the SD card, but you always want to do that on these drones. I've had some, they don't want to work with a certain card, or they don't want to record at all. Test it first. I thought the video looked pretty decent. We'll see how it looks outside here with adequate lighting. Again, there's just no stabilization. That was a very high return to home height, but that's okay. We're well below any kind of restrictions, and that way we know we're above trees and there's nothing that it could possibly fly into, since it has no sort of obstacle avoidance. Here it's going to hover as it kind of recalibrates itself, and it's going to land here. And that was too bad. I mean, that's within the margin of error, considering this is only using GPS. Let's go ahead and stop recording. That way we know we've got some video saved. I think that beep in there is just still letting us know that it was in GPS mode until we take off again. So let's go ahead and set it down. Let's just press the GPS and see if that cancels it. It should have canceled it when it landed, but if it continues to beep after land, just press the GPS button again. Let's go ahead and record some more video, unlock the props, and let's just manually take off. So just give it some throttle. Yeah. Now, I'm not gonna take a photo here since I'm recording video, but keep in mind, on a drone like this, the photo is just gonna be a screen grab of one of the JPEGs of the video feed, so it's not gonna be any better quality. It's just going to, if there's any jello, obviously in a photo you seldom see that unless it's just got horrific jello, to where a photo can sometimes have waves in it, but that's not common. Yeah, this flies really nice. I think this would be a pretty good beginner's GPS drone if you can get it at the right price. Hopefully someone's nice enough to send this to me so for review, so I don't know what the actual listed price on Amazon is, but it shouldn't be too terrible, being it's just not brushless and it's relatively small. So what let's do now, let's back it up and see if we can do one of those follow me modes, because we still have 3 out of 4. Looks like ours at 4 out of 5. It's hard to see. Down the bottom right corner is the battery meter. Let's press on that. We've got 2 different ones. Let's try the first one. That should be your GPS follow. So let's see if does it yaw first. And it tells you obviously to walk slowly. Yeah, it's not yawing, it's just following me. Let's back it up some, because you guys are not going to see me in the video since we can't tilt it. Let's just see if it follows me. The sun is very bright today, so with my phone brightness all the way up, I'm still having a hard time seeing the screen because of the glare. Yeah, that works really well. Let's see if we can just press that again to cancel it, and we did. Now for this one, we're going to try the active track feature. So that's what you see in the fancy drones. That is something you seldom see on any drone like this. And that's going to use a smartphone to sort of look at the footage. Let's lower it down some. And it's going to try to track me. So let me back up some. Let's try that. So we're going to 3 to 10 meters. Let's see, can I draw a box around me? Lost. Please reselect object. No. Let's try a larger box. Yeah, it's having trouble. Let's and I don't, if this mode doesn't work, it does not surprise me. Yeah, it's not. Let's try bringing it closer then. Let's see if maybe I'm too far away. So that's the next thing to try. Let's lower it down. Now I'm really close. Let's try it now. No. It just isn't. Let's try it another way in case it's some glare from the sun or something. Because it just immediately doesn't work. Let's take it back farther in and see if it says 3 to 10 meters, and that was, this is probably on the edge of that. No. Alright guys, so the active track absolutely does not work. I'm not at all surprised by that. Let's go ahead and cancel it. No sense keep on playing around with that. The GPS follow me worked great, and honestly, that's going to be good enough for most people. But yeah, if you wanted to have it follow like a rock crawler or some slow moving, not a fast RC car. That active track would be nice, and you know, maybe it'll work for you. Maybe maybe they need to do some updates or something, but that's it. I mean, I didn't even try to work one time. And I said 3 to 10 meters. I was at, you know, 3 and then out around 10, and it does not work. But otherwise, this flies great, and everything else has worked perfect. Really smooth fly. This is what I'd expect from an X5C with GPS, even though that is made by SEMA, and this is made by Holystone. Boy, this is one of the nicest, smoothest flying brushed toy quads with GPS I've flown in a long time. Most of them are most of these brushed ones are very unstable, and they wobble, they don't hold position well, and you know, they don't return to home, which usually doesn't work as well as this one did. It'll be off a lot more. And the video feed was good. We were out about 100 meters, and I had a nice solid feed. I could push it farther, but I don't like to do that too much, especially at first, until I have an idea with one of these brush drones, just because of the ability it has to fight any kind of wind, which is there's a bit of wind at times today. And to get it back, we don't want to lose it. I have a good SD card in there I would not want to lose, along with the drone, of course. Don't want to lose the drone. We still have about half a battery, so sometimes these battery meters can be flaky on these toys. So, you know, we can go on quite a while here to where you feel like we're going to exceed that 13 minutes, but it's very uncommon for these to suddenly just poof and drop down until you've hit low battery, even though you look like you had half a battery. So that's probably what's going to happen. Yeah, really nice flyer. Really nice flyer. One of the best GPS drones I've reviewed that's not brushless. One of the best brushed. Really nice. Just super smooth. A lot of fun to fly. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop recording video. That way I know I've got all the video saved. Because when you're flying one of these drones and you end up hitting low battery, or it does return home, and you get into the whole distraction of that and you land it, and if it's beeping because it's in GPS return to home, it's very easy to power everything off and forget to stop recording the video, and 9 out of 10 times that's going to corrupt the video and you lost everything you recorded. So make sure you stop that recording. Your expensive drones, your DJIs and Autels and those, they're going to have that set up to where if you forget, it will still save the video, or almost all the video. But on these toys, it is very rare for that to be salvaged, and you're going to lose everything. It's another reason why I stopped it the first time too, to make sure I have some video for you guys to see. Okay, it's telling me we have low voltage. Now because I'm close, it's not going into return to home. If I was out a little ways, then it would here. I believe that's what it's going to do. Usually they will go into return to home if you're beyond a certain distance, maybe 50 meters or something. Since we're at low voltage, what it'll probably do here is once we would get to low voltage, it would just auto land itself if you are close enough. Again, if you're far enough away, it's going to want to send the drone back. So yeah, pretty decent flight time. We'll have to see what actual flight time we got there. Let's do that auto landing. Now it's saying return to home, and it could be just telling me to return to home. That's pretty close for just doing a manual landing. Look at that. Landed on the helipad. Alright guys, I'm impressed with this little guy. You know, obviously, if you're looking for some really spectacular video footage and you don't have a lot of money to spend, this is not going to do it because you don't have any stabilization. But it might be a decent drone to go up and get some photos. And if you just want to learn how to fly a GPS drone and a beginner's drone, and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money before you go up to a DJI, I think this could be a pretty good starting point before you might jump to something like the DJI Mini SE releasing the the Mini SE 2. And those are gonna, those drones usually run around $300, or this one is gonna be significantly less. All right, guys, that wraps up the review of the Holy Stone HS110G. If you're new to the channel and you like this content, please consider subscribing. And while you're at it, click that bell. That way you're notified every time I do upload a new video. And as always, guys, have a great day.
The power of the dark side.